Good evening, everyone. This is Rebecca with Red True Crime, doing our latest Thursday's Child case profile. So, if you're new to the channel, um, this is a true crime channel. So, we cover historical crime, obscure crime, up to the date, crazy headline crime, all that stuff. And I apologize for my appearance. I am battling COVID, so I am severely under the weather. But I cannot let my Thursday profiles not happen. So today we are going to talk about Melvin Horst. These Thursday child profiles are the oldest unsolved missing child cases, one from each of the 50 states. So we've already covered Vermont with Victory Plouffe, and we did Mississippi, or was it Louisiana? Well, that one touched Louisiana and Mississippi. And that was Bobby Dunbar. And today we are going to cover Melvin Horst out of Orrville, Ohio. So, Melvin Horst went missing December 27th, 1928. And almost 100 years later, his case still remains what happened to him. Because no one knows. Questions is, was he abducted? Did he witness something he wasn't supposed to? Or is it something even worse? So, now Orrville, Ohio. I don't really know a lot about Orrville, Ohio. I am from Cincinnati, Ohio. But from what I gather, Orrville is just kind of one of those really small backwater towns, so to speak. I shouldn't call it backwater because they probably get upset about that. But, let's see, let me do a little quick look on it real quick. Because, Wayne County. Oh, okay, so it's right outside of Akron. So that gives me an idea where it is. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of farmland. Not a lot, just really small areas. So, 1928, you got to look at that year, or I mean that decade, the 20s, was the era of the Volstead Act, Prohibition. So, that's another thing that plays a role into this disappearance. So Orrville was a small, tight-knit community where everybody knew each other. And in 1928, these towns weren't that big, so of course everybody knew each other. And it was a place where you could literally let your kids go out, and you didn't really have to keep eyes on them too much because you trusted your neighbors. You trusted that your child was safe because you knew who was around you. And he went out. He was only 4 years old, and he went out there to play. It was right after Christmas. He had a new, I think it was a new red engine that he gotten, and he was playing with it with the other kids. And it was cold that day. He was wearing a coat, but he was out there playing. So the last time he was seen was near his home on North Mill Street. And his mother had briefly stepped away, leaving him outside to play. But when she returned, her son was gone. Now, according to the children he was playing with, they said that he decided to go home because it was time for him to go home. He had to go home and eat dinner. So I'm hearing, I get multiple reports on this because I'm not sure what the true story is, whether his mom was out there watching him and she left to go back in the house, or that he was out playing and he decided to walk the block back to his home because it was late and it was dinner time. That I'm not sure. So when she realized he was missing, she called her husband. Her husband came home from work, and because I think he worked like at a plant or something at that point. But he comes home from work, and they're hysterical. So they call her brother, her husband's brother, who happens to be a local sheriff of the area, and they are looking for this kid. Neighbors joined in, combing the streets, nearby fields, but as night fell, there was no sign of him. And they're saying this was like late afternoon, like 4 o'clock in the afternoon when he got up and left. So December 27th, 1928, it starts getting dark about 4:30, 5 o'clock. So I don't know how much time actually we're able to spend looking for him, with that being the case. So the police, launched an immediate investigation. Bloodhounds were brought in to track Melvin's scent. And they said that, according to this, the dogs followed the trail for several blocks, but stopped abruptly near the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad tracks, the B&O. And that raises fears that Melvin may have been abducted and taken by train. That's a possibility. And then days turned into weeks, and the search expanded beyond Orville. Flyers with Melvin's description were distributed in neighboring towns, but no credible sightings emerged. Now, authorities questioned travelers, drifters, and train workers, but despite their efforts, the trail grew colder by the day. Now, this is where things get a little crazy. So, at one point, Melvin's family received a ransom note demanding $5,000 for his return, which in 1928, that's a lot of money. Let's see, what would that be? 5,000, just to give you guys perspective. In 1928, value today. So today it would be about $93,000. You know, that's to give you just an idea of how much they were actually asking for. So, so they get a ransom note asking for $5,000, and it also told not to get the police involved. Now, there's some back and forth about this, that the note wasn't meant for them, and that possibly Melvin was taken by mistake. There was a family that lived a couple houses down from them, and they had a son about the same age as Melvin, and they were a bit more well-to-do, and they could have afforded that $5,000. Some say that whoever took the kid took the wrong kid. Let's see. Now, another thing that gets into this is Melvin's uncle, his father's brother, being a sheriff of the area, or a deputy sheriff, I'm not sure which, but he was cracking down on bootleggers. And he was not a popular guy. So another theory is that Melvin was taken to get back at the uncle. But that's just one theory. So over the following weeks, more ransom notes arrived, each one leading to dead ends. And the investigators pushed every lead. Because again, this is the nephew of one of their own. So of course they are going to pull out the stops to investigate this. And every time they investigated, they were met with hoaxes and deception, and adding more heartbreak to the situation. And then as investigators probed deeper, whispers of bootlegging activity began to surface. Prohibition was in full swing. Of course it was. Ohio was definitely, that's when you're dealing with George Remus on that one, because he had Ohio. Another theory was that maybe Melvin saw something he wasn't supposed to. Maybe when on his walk home, he saw people loading up a truck. They took the kid to shut him up. That's another thought. And it also says here that with the B&O Railroad nearby, a known corridor for transporting bootlegged alcohol, many wondered if Melvin had been taken to prevent him from exposing illegal activities. I don't know. But, they, according to this, authorities pursued the theory, and there was just no ties to any of that. And it's a good thing that his Uncle Peter, who was the sheriff or police officer, he really pushed to make sure that Melvin's case was out there and people were hearing the name. Yeah, but as the time went on, the case grew colder. There was just nothing. And then, the theories range from abduction by a stranger to something more sinister, local cover-up, yet none led to the answers of what the family was desperately looking for. Melvin. So, as time passed, the case of Melvin Horst gave rise to numerous theories. Kidnapping for ransom, but the notes didn't lead anywhere. Abduction by stranger, and that theory fueled reports by a strange man seen in the neighborhood around the time of Melvin's disappearance. Involvement in bootleg operations, which, did he see something that cost him his life? Or was there an accidental death and concealment? Some speculated that maybe Melvin wandered into danger, that his death was covered up to protect someone. That's also a possibility. And the disappearance of Melvin Horst has left a lasting scar on Orrville, Ohio. His case became one of the earliest missing child mysteries to capture national attention, yet it remains unsolved. And though decades have passed, the case of Melvin Horst remains open. And it's a haunting reminder of how quickly innocence can be stolen and how justice can remain just out of reach. The mystery of Melvin Horst is more than just a cold case. It's a story that continues to haunt Orrville and reminds us of the countless children, so many, that have vanished without a trace. It's almost like they fell into a black hole. But I think there's hope in this. I mean, we're getting new technology, new forensic technology all the time. Maybe, just maybe, something will be found and they can test it and it'll give them an answer. I don't know. So, if you like this story, please like, subscribe, and comment. It doesn't cost anything. And it puts the algorithm out there for other people to see this and maybe they will like it. I don't know. But the longer I do this channel, I've been at this for a little bit more than a year now, the more missing child cases just weigh on me. Because I'm constantly looking for more cases, to talk about, because it's frightening being here in Greensboro, North Carolina, how many kids go missing and how little coverage there is of their disappearances. It's very upsetting. And that's something I'd like to get turned around if possible. So, but you can help with that. Because if you share, like, and comment, you can help get the word out about these cases and get more people involved. Maybe legislators could be like, look, we need to do better. Something. I don't know. But it is a sad, sad case, no matter how you look at it. So, okay, on that note, this is Rebecca with Red True Crime. I'm going to hop off here. But like I said before, if you've not already subscribed to the channel, please do so. It doesn't cost anything. Like it, even if you dislike it, it gives me something. And comment, please. Comment, share, all that good stuff. Please do it all. So, as I always say, be weird, be rude, be safe. Because if you're weird and rude, they won't take you. I guarantee it. So be safe, everyone. Thank you for tuning in and listening. Have a great day. Bye.